Okay, so what's going on, everybody? My name is MSK, aka Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about the final movie coming out in the DC Extended Universe, which is going to be Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. The first Aquaman movie, which came out back in 2018, took in over $1 billion at the worldwide box office and is, and potentially will be, the highest grossing movie of the DC Extended Universe. Now, if you told me that Aquaman, the guy that talks to fish, would have had the highest grossing solo movie within the DC Extended Universe, when you have characters like Superman, Batman, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, as movies all coming out before his, I would have called you crazy. But now we live in a world where he could potentially now have two of the highest grossing movies in the DCEU. Now, there's been a lot that has changed since 2018 versus now. A lot has changed since then. The biggest thing I want to bring up is the amount of what is called now superhero fatigue has set in for a lot of people with a lot of the superhero, content that we've been getting, obviously. Now, you must also understand that the Aquaman movie that came out back in 2018 did very, very well overseas, and it also did decently well over here. Now, a lot of people are kind of putting Aquaman 2 and the Marvels together in the same category because obviously both first movies made $1 billion, and we just saw with the Marvels recently that it just crashed and burned. Crash and burn, failed. That's mean the movie's bad. That's a different conversation.
Whoa, wait. We have to... Yeah, they both made a bill. There are two major differences. Aquaman 1 came off a horrible Justice League movie that made $600 million. Mm-hmm. Captain Marvel was sandwiched between two Avengers movies. And there's a difference. Aquaman 1 is actually a good movie. Captain Marvel was not a good movie.
Captain Marvel is straight shite.
Those are the very different factors. They both made $1 billion, but very different.
And I want to make sure I mention this too. So this is what people do not understand when we're talking about these things is context. The reason why you mentioned context is because if someone tries to push a bullshit narrative on you, if you apply context to it, you completely just negate whatever they're saying. So when the Captain Marvel point, Kate, I mentioned in my videos too. People will, Captain Marvel made $1 billion. Now with context, yeah, sandwiched between two Avengers movies. That's the big difference right there. Because if you do not apply context to that, it just looks like it just did $1 billion because it was just that good of a movie, which that isn't true actually. So we know the Marvels, which was the sequel to Captain Marvel, which came out back in 2019, completely failed at the box office. It's getting just straight shitted on by everything coming out. No one wanted a Captain Marvel sequel. Now, based off the box office predictions alone, Aquaman 2 is actually shaping up to be like that from just box office predictions alone, right? Now, it could come out in a few weeks, and it could destroy those predictions, obviously. But just looking at how people have viewed the DCEU basically since 2019, all the movies, the last, I don't know how many that has been in a row, I think it's like 7 or 8 of them, have crashed and burned nothing over $400 million. So is this movie supposed to somehow just fix that? Because remember, guys, the reason why some of these movies do not do as well anymore is because of not only just word of mouth. Movies like this are very, very front-loaded. So when everyone goes to watch them, that opening weekend, they basically tell a bunch of people, is this good enough to watch? If the word of mouth is really good, more people start going and seeing it. And if not, they just stop. They just basically just kind of go whenever they want to, obviously. So if we're looking at Aquaman 2, it has even bigger budget than the first one. The budget is gotten ballooned because of all the delays. The movie's been delayed multiple times. This is kind of in the same boat that the other DCE movies were in earlier this year that I have went to theaters and seen. I have seen these. I watch these things in theaters. I care about these movies, well, any movie in general, right? Shazam 2 failed. Not a good movie. The Flash failed. Not a good movie. I didn't see that Taco Maker movie, Blue Beetle, because I wasn't interested. I'm just being honest here. But people said they liked it, but it still failed, right? Aquaman 2. How's it supposed to be any different? How is this supposed to be literally any different? I couldn't believe it if it was, honestly. Like, everything's writing against it not being good.
From a trailer point of view, I mean, it doesn't look bad. There's nothing about it that looks bad. Mm-hmm. I mean, look, this is the thing. Like I said, For some reason, I don't get you motherfuckers with the Shazam 2 shit. That's why I don't know how someone can dislike Shazam 2, but like Shazam 1 is the same shit.
You're on crack. You're just on
Look,
crack.
it is
I hate
literally
you.
the same shit. Hold up, you guys in chat. If you like Shazam 1, don't come in here and lie and say that Shazam 2 isn't literally Shazam 1, but amped up. But look, let me just say this. You look at the Aquaman 2 trailers that have been coming out, and I like them. There ain't been no issues with me. Like, there's
I think
nothing.
they've been all right. Yeah, they've been not bad.
I haven't really seen anybody really. I mean, look, I'm not on Twitter as often no more. I don't know what the Snyder heads are doing. Last time I checked, them Snyder weirdos was liking the trailer too. For the first time, they was liking a DCEU movie since James Gunn left. Obviously, the Zack Snyder left, but still, right? Still, there's nothing bad to me about the trailers coming out. Now, this is the thing. There's only really two big movies coming out this year. I mean, for this month, and I would say that's Godzilla -1 and this movie, like the big like blockbuster tentpole films. But other than that, I mean, you know, it's coming out during the holidays, so it has a chance, right? It has a chance. It's the holidays. We're gonna want to watch a movie, so it has a chance. I'm not saying it's
Right.
gonna really do anything, but it does have a better chance than other films that came out this year. That was part of the DCU.
Aquaman 2 may be heading toward a worse box office crash than the Marvels. Aquaman 2 box office prediction suggests the Lost Kingdom is heading for a worse fate than the Marvels when it premieres in December. Now, the Marvels opened up to $47 million from Thursday to Sunday. Okay. Do you guys know how terrible that is when those numbers came in? That means this movie did worse than the Incredible Hulk, Edward Norton's movie, which was the second movie in the MCU, and an Ant-Man movie that came out back in 2015. This movie, the Marvels failed on levels you couldn't even basically comprehend. And when people keep saying, oh, but it's the highest grossing movie directed by a black woman opening weekend. No, it's also the biggest fail and the biggest franchise in the world. That's even worse. Who gives a flying F if a black woman had that big of an opening when it's the biggest misfire and the biggest franchise essentially in the world, money-wise? No. That's the stupid thing that people bring up. It's nonsense. All right, so here's a few bullet points. Aquaman 2 is projected to flop at the box office and join the list of comic book movie disasters. The film was expected to earn significantly less than the first Aquaman and potentially less than the Marvels. Despite possible international success, the movie's domestic performance is likely to disappoint, signaling superhero fatigue and DC's decline. Well, DC's decline's been here for quite some time, actually. This is only just going to accelerate it to put it out of its misery.
And DCEU decline. People keep. That's why they got to make this shit specific. Whoever writes these articles, you're talking about the DC or DC, because if you're talking DC, that means what are you talking about? Comics, games, everything overall. Like what decline?
Aquaman 2 is projected to lose big at the box office this December and will likely become another in a long string of comic book movie disasters, potentially faring worse than the Marvels. Aquaman was a surprise blockbuster smash hit, grossing over $1 billion worldwide and $335 million in the United States. However, a lot has changed for DC since the first Aquaman movie was released in 2018. Today, audiences suffer from superhero fatigue due to an oversaturation of content from both Marvel and DC, resulting in recent flops like the Marvels, which opened to a pathetic $47 million in its first weekend despite positive reviews from critics. Okay, that is massive, Cap. You mean, okay, so I never quantify a shill with someone just liking a movie, right? So we know there's going to be shills in the industry because, they want to protect their jobs and they want to have these access to these movie premieres, right? But if you're looking at just even the average people on Twitter that talk about the Marvels, they didn't really like this. They didn't like the Marvels at all.
Yeah, it was a lot of factors. It was a lot of factors. I still ain't seen the movie yet, but
I got a refund for my ticket. I'm just gonna wait for Disney Plus.
That's why I think
I'll watch it.
That's why I think the problems the Marvels have Aquaman 2, because this thing I think the Marvels did have, it failed to appeal to its main target audience and stuff. I think that's the biggest thing. Because I mean, I'll be honest with you, what average like let's say a Marvel fan in general gonna want to go watch like the Marvels, and it's not no issue of it being female led, like because Wonder Woman 1 was female led and it made a lot of money, but it
Yeah.
still appealed to its target audience and still was able to appeal to other people and get them all in. So I think that's another issue with a lot of films and TV. They're forgetting to appeal to their larger audience while also still just making a good film in general that can get to the specific target audience that they're looking for. For example, Barbie, right? Barbie target audience is women. It's not men. So trying to target that movie to men is stupid, right? But there's a lot of men that watch the movie and they do like the movie. So even though their main target audience was women, they were still able to find a way to pull in men too, so they can also support that movie. So,
and that's the thing is the people that went and supported the Marvels were the gender, because there's only 2 of them. The gender that people said wouldn't go support. Men went and supported the Marvels, not women actually. And this was mostly catered towards dudes because obviously it's Aquaman. So hopefully many more men will come out and support this as well, which we know it's going to be because superhero stuff, guys, is geared towards men. Not only is Aquaman 2 projected to earn a small fraction of the first film's revenue, but recent predictions suggest it may earn less than the Marvels. According to Box Office Pro, the Aquaman sequel will debut in the 32 million to 42 million range on opening weekend, with the best case scenario still 5 million shy of the Marvel's opening weekend numbers. This forecast is another upset for superhero fans, given that the Marvels had the worst MCU opening weekend in history. In pre-sales, The Lost Kingdom is tracking only 25% ahead of Shazam: Fury of the Gods, another massive DC bomb from earlier in the year. According to Box Office Pro, the domestic total for Aquaman 2 is in the 105 to 168 million dollar range. So yeah, if this movie opens to like anything less than $47 million opening weekend between Thursday and Sunday, when they do the box office total numbers, that's about to be just insanely bad. Although the new Aquaman appears to be hurtling toward disappointment, it is still projected to earn more than DC's latest installment, Blue Beetle, which kicked off with an even more pitiful 25 million on its opening weekend. That's good Lord, that's bad.
Solid movie, by the way.
Good Lord. Hopefully the movie's number that it took in, obviously in the box office, doesn't reflect how good or bad it is, like as a movie.
Well, I'll say this. Blue Beetle made more money than it would have on streaming.
Well, yeah, which is nothing. I guess that's one way to look at it. You can make $0 or make something.
I mean, yeah, it's either you make something or you make nothing. So it made more than it would have on streaming. That's for sure.
There is also some hope that James Wan's Aquaman 2, in which Jason Momoa and Amber Heard reprising their roles, will succeed internationally, even if it bombs domestically. A large portion of the first Aquaman's billion-dollar global box office came from international sales, with a whopping $292 million reportedly coming from China alone, setting a record for sales in the country. Additionally, it may be promising that the second Aquaman faces a lean holiday slate similar to the first, meaning it won't face much major competition in theaters. While there are a few small glimmers of hope in the Lost Kingdom's future, most signs point to another lackluster debut this Christmas. Initially set to premiere in December 2022, the Aquaman follow-up was developed before the studio's sharp decline in ticket sales and James Gunn's takeover of DC. Wan's new film will test the superhero fatigue of moviegoers and may indicate the fate of comic book adaptations, or worse, become proof of DC's bygone success. Aquaman 2 will be released in theaters on December 22nd, 2023. Just coming out 3 days, roughly before Christmas, actually. Oh, and this is another thing to understand.
That's why I say that the fact that this movie is coming out in the holiday season again, like the first movie, does put it in a better position than most movies.
Ugh. Yeah, so that's what I'll levy to you guys who are going to watch this video is, do you guys think Aquaman 2 is going to open to less money than the Marvels? Because that would be insanely bad. That would be terrible if it opened to less than what that is. But then again, it could open to more. It's also just depending on word of mouth. Word of mouth is going to be the excessive thing that accelerates movies' success at the box office now, because if people start telling other people it sucks, they're not going to go see it. That's how it's going to work now. you know. But then again, maybe Warner Brothers Discovery just uses as a tax write-off, and they're just like, you know what? I don't care anymore. Let's just get to the new universe. Let's just scrap this shit. I'm so done, you know? But yeah, hopefully you guys, enjoyed this video. And if you guys want to subscribe to K-Dot's YouTube channel.
Can't really do a tax write-off at this point. Too late.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. If you guys want to subscribe to K-Dot's YouTube channel, leave a link in the description box below. Anything else you want to say, man, before you head out of this video specifically?
Hashtag release Batgirl.
All right. Dear crackhead. Oh, I'm MSK, Master Swag King, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.